Kaz Olsen, was it? Just the person I wanted to see.
I'm sorry. Who exactly are you?
Well, not a lot of people know my name, but you can call me Mercury Highwind. But don't tell anybody.
See, that's the exact same feeling I'm having right now at the mention of my name. You must, know some important people. Who sent you?
Does the name Ariana Song mean anything to you?
Mm-hmm. And what does Ari want?
Well, it's a little bit more about what I want and what I can give you. So, I have heard through the proverbial grapevine, as it were, that you have a special set of skills of making things disappear from secure locations.
Mercury, was it?
That'll do.
Walk with me. And
Hiding
Kaz
in
will
plain
just
sight.
walk away from at least the crowded table. What exactly are you looking for?
Do you want me to speak plain? Because I ain't sure I can do that. But I will.
Um, why can't you?
Okay, not how it is. Alright, well, so there's a thing.
Listen, hold on, hold on. I need details, first and foremost, because that's how I decide if it's worth my time. And also, if it's possible. That's also a little important here.
Well, do you like a challenge?
Oh, I
Because I've
love
got one. Good. You ever lifted anything from the Smithsonian before?
museums, yes. Smithsonian, no.
No. I think you can do it. And frankly, I need something taken out of there. I can't do it myself because they'll know it's me. But
You
you,
have a
I've
calling
heard,
card?
you could say that. But it's more like that. I've heard that you're quite the chameleon.
You can say that.
So, well, I can help you with that a little bit. But it's a real simple thing. I just need you to go down to it's like I think they got it in the archives of the Natural History Museum somewhere, but it's just it's a little tiny thing. They won't even miss it. But getting in there is the hard part. But I don't think it'll be hard for you.
Maybe not. What is this tiny object?
Well, I'd rather you not know that. I
Have to
just
know
need
what
you
I'm
to.
looking for.
Well, it's a little vial filled with what looks to be water, but it's dark water. It's like a black water.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what's it worth to you?
Well, a person like me, I, I can work with money, but I feel like to make this interesting, maybe we could trade favors. Since you're offering to do me a favor.
Oh, I don't think I'm offering.
What is the thing you desire most in the world right now?
A rumor.
I hear lots of rumors.
Hmm. It's a bowl of sorts. Very ornate. A snake gliding across the outward surface. Gilded. It's said to have held poison.
Poison bowl.
Norwegian, specifically.
Now you get closer. I think you're talking about the bowl of Sigrun?
Sigyn?
I'm not good with these Norwegian
You were
names.
close. At least, that's the rumor. The very bowl that caught the poison, that Loki was punished to endure.
I'm
It's
not gonna
pure
ask why.
mythos, but the way that the art world talks about it, somebody knows something.
Mythos has its own value.
Very true.
I assume you're not just going to sell it, are you?
Absolutely not.
Now that makes it more interesting. So, as it so happens, I might know where it is.
How convenient.
I'm a man of delivering convenience. So, in exchange for undertaking this little challenge for me, yeah, I'll trade you that.
To how can I be sure that I can trust you? Besides the fact that Ari sent you.
You can't trust me.
Very true, I can't trust anyone.
But I don't want you to trust me. So, I'll give you part of it now. How's that sound?
What part exactly?
Memphis. I think it's in Memphis.
Okay. And are you hoping... Do you want your end of the deal first?
I'm gonna need it. It's on a timetable.
And what is that timetable?
A couple of days.
And you said you could help me?
I can. I can get you... Let's see, I think I can get you some ID, some credentials. Fancy looking lab coat so you just blend right in.
Skip the lab coat. I think, business professional. For an archivist, seems more apt.
You know your stuff. Okay, well, I'll get you that. You get in there. I ain't tell you how to do your job, but you just walk in there like you own the place and take it right out. They won't stop you, I'm sure.
Usually do. Okay. I retrieve this for you. And then...
I'll provide you now with a safety deposit box to put it in where I can pick it up. I'll tell you what, you let me know when you have it. I'll give you the code to that box, and the location for what you want will be right in there.
Before I seal this deal, I'm going to need a little bit of safety.
Safety?
They will just take a card out of their jacket and hand it over, and it's just like clearly a bank account, like wire transfer information. 50 grand.
50 grand?
This is the Smithsonian. And if what you want is truly that priceless, very important.
It is. Tell you what, 75.
Seals the deal.
I like you.
Don't know how I feel about you.
I get that a lot. But I assume since you're here, you've got some gambling to do, so I won't take up much more of your time.
Sure, if you want to call it that. And they'll just look over at the person who is very much winning at the table.
I knew I liked you.
Hmm.
And also tell you what, to sweeten the pot, anything else you find with that thing you want, you take.
All right.
But
Maybe
try
I
not
can
to
get to
touch
like you
anything
after.
else. No. Try not to touch anything else in the Smithsonian, though.
I'll do my best.
All right. Well, it has been divine doing business with you.
It will be.
I won't see you
Have a
again.
lovely
Take care.
you as well.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a new Scion Chronicle, The Coming Storm. We're playing this in Scion Second Edition, and we're glad that you've all joined us tonight or this afternoon or whenever this stream is showing. Um, we're happy to interact with you in the chat below, but we're going to get right into it. I am Ian. I'm the ST. My pronouns are he, him. And for right now, to start off, I would like to go around and have the players introduce themselves and their characters. Plug something if you want, and just take it away. We'll start with CJ.
Hi everyone, I'm CJ, sometimes known as CJ Starry here on Twitch and also on various other social media. I'm going to be playing Roshin Bosini, who goes by they, them, and I also go by they, them. So I'm excited to start.
Thank you,
Popcorn.
CJ. Ace, why don't you go ahead?
Hi, everybody. Find me online at on Instagram at Ulrich_Wolfgar for various miniatures, gaming, and all sorts of other fun things. I go by he, him. I am playing Nemesis, and he also goes by he, him, and I am pleased to meet you.
All right. Thank you. Megan.
Yeah, my name is Megan. You can find me pretty much anywhere, i.e., Twitter and Instagram, at Arch Starweaver. In addition to that, you can find me on this channel as well as the Phoenix Blue Zero channel for our Star Trek Sagittarius game, which has finally come back, and it's a joy. I am playing Lane Carnahan. They go by they, them. Me personally, player-wise, she, they, for clarification. And that's all.
All right. And of course, our player newest to streaming, Logan.
Yo, yo, yo. My name's Logan. This is my first stream. Well, technically second, but like first proper one ever. And I don't really have much stuff to promote at all. So I will just refer you to Arch Starweaver stuff. They are my partner and brought me into this. It has been delightful. And I am playing Jericho Sutterth. Their pronouns are he, him. My pronouns, Logan, are he, they. Um, and yeah, I'm really fucking excited.
All right. So let's get right into it. We open on a world much like our own. It is summertime, perhaps early summer, June, and it's a world much like our own, but with small dissimilarities. Perhaps when you go to the park and you think you see that cryptid was probably real and it was probably a satyr. Um, and the myths are starting to become true. much of the world does not understand this, but things are things are kind of coming to a head. And as we go along in the game, we'll start to learn about more about what's happening. But since this is our modern world, I thought that we would start with one of the artifacts and myths of the modern world is a functional Zoom call um, between an individual who is a mutual acquaintance of all of these characters and also someone who is a little bit eccentric and has gotten them many, many boons and many, many things, but often asks for bizarre and strange things as well. So let's just jump right into the eccentricity of the individual known as Mercury Highwind. So tell you all what, I do not understand the Zoom thing. It is slow. I hate waiting for the answer, but it is good to see every single one of you. I am excited to tell you all something. How y'all been? Jericho still crying in a van somewhere?
Haha, that's a funny one. No. Give me a second. I'm a little short of breath.
That's awkward. I'm doing good, Mercury. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, you finding any ghosts lately?
Lots, unfortunately. But I guess fortunately as well.
Well, it is a good amount of your profession, I would say, Lane, so probably for the best.
It's exciting, but it's also really, really draining sometimes.
Be honest with you, I've seen like 100 ghosts. You've seen one ghost, you've seen one ghost, but still, like 100 of them. After a while, you start to gets a little mundane.
All
Do you
right,
feel with
man. What the
people?
hell do you want?
What the hell do I want? Oh, come on, you don't be like that, Nemesis. We had a long history. But
Yeah, I know we do.
what I want to do is I want to make you all superstars. I want to send you to an exclusive event.
Where?
Y'all heard of the Gerner Foundation?
The
Have
what?
we?
No, of course you haven't, because I'm telling you about it now.
No, of
What?
course we haven't, because you're telling us about it right now.
Anyway, this Gerner Foundation, they just opened up a new art and history museum in Chicago, and you all get to go. Everyone who is someone is going to be there, and I need you all to be there too, because you all are going to make yourselves some money, put a little FaceTime in, and that's going to make me money.
Time.
Mercury, please, no.
Please, yes.
I've been so busy with different projects, and you know I love art. You can't just tempt me like that.
Oh, well, Jericho, this ain't just art. This is an exhibit of some of the greatest art ever created. They're calling it something like mythology and modern storytelling, how myths created our world. I don't know, some kind of postmodern BS. I ain't even sure about it. But it sounds like they got some cool stuff.
Mercury, is this the one that you were telling me about that had that particular artifact on display that felt really... It seemed like there was something wiggy going on with it? Is this the same exhibit?
Define wiggy?
Abnormal. Paranormal.
I don't think I've had a normal day in my entire life. When you're abnormal, every day is abnormal. Never have a damn normal day of your life. How about that?
Okay.
I'm gonna pretend that made sense.
I think we've
Sometimes
just
when
established
things
that
make
is
sense,
abnormal.
Sometimes when things stop making sense, they start making sense.
Okay. All right. All these? Sure. Let me.
Look. I know none of you like people. Y'all ain't people. You know, and I get that, but I just want you to put in some FaceTime. I want you to take a look at what they got going on there. There's this guy, this Carl Speckern or something. He maybe he's got some leads on some art. Maybe he's got some lead on some antiquities. Maybe he's got some lead on some opportunities. You just check him out. Check out the exhibit. Meet some people. Go for God's sake, like get out and like talk to people. Like y'all are a bunch of like shut-ins. Oh, you know what? There'll be free food
Might have
and drink.
convinced me. What sort of food?
I don't know. Rich people museum food.
Will there be fancy tuna?
I don't have the menu, but I'm sure there'll be something fancy. I hear they have an open bar.
Free food in an open bar.
Open bar and
opportunity
antiquities.
To see antiquities and how the myth made our modern world.
And oh, actually, I was about to. I forgot that we were on a Zoom call. Ro.
Yes.
Maybe there's some interesting artifact or something that could feature in one of your new books. I mean, I heard that there was some people felt some interesting vibes coming from something there, so maybe
Might be
we
worth
could
a
have some
look.
sort of cool ancient like Egyptian or whatever, or maybe Grecian god story thing that you could write.
Well, we'll see if the muse hits, I suppose, but you've managed to corner all of my interests, so yes, I'm in.
I mean, there's going to be, I'm sure, inspiration is going to be great. You keep an eye on all that. For God's sake, make some money. But like, yeah, there's going to be all kinds of things to see. Regarding that weirdness, that's part of why I want you to go, Nemesis. Is I don't know. I don't trust rich people. They like pay for things and don't just take them. So, you know, keep an eye on these folks a little bit, huh?
Fine.
Y'all, here's how you do it. You just smile a little bit. Even if the smile's not real. Even if the smile's not real, it can be convincing. A smile is a man's greatest weapon.
Is that what they say?
I don't know who they is, but that's what I say.
So it is.
All right, you got dates and times for us?
I'll set up all the travel. There's no dress code, thankfully for y'all. But dress how you dress. Be yourself, I think. Let's see. Yeah, I'll set up all the travel. I do have one more thing. Lane, I was sending you something. It should be there, I don't know, in a couple minutes or something.
Oh. Thank you?
I bet that's that UPS man right now.
Oh my god. 1 second.
So I'm sending Lane something. I don't know. Maybe this Speckern guy will buy it or something. I don't know. I just feel like you're gonna need it. I don't really know what it does, but I do know that Ro, you might know what to do with it when the time comes, if that happens.
We'll
What the?
see.
What is this?
So you were given, it is a small vial of black liquid. I don't know what it is. I just thought you might need it. Don't drink it. I know you think you want to drink it. It's a mysterious vial full of black liquid. The first thing you want to do is drink it. Don't do that.
Is that legal? Whatever you sent.
No. But
Well,
bring it
good.
with you.
Right.
I feel like it'd come in handy. But yeah.
You know the drill. If I get caught with it, I didn't know it was there, and I was working for you.
You ain't gonna get caught with it. I don't think it's gonna set off no metal detectors. So, I think I can set you up with some travel. So you all, whenever you're ready to go, you be ready to go.
Thank you for your call.
Y'all want to ride in the same limo, or you want to? I'll get you a limo.
You mean when we land?
Just a new Uber, or whatever it's called.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
Thanks.
I travel in
Uber?
style. Well, if y'all want to travel on your own, I'll just pay for it. Send
Do you
it to
have one
my
of those like helicopter things?
Do I have a helicopter thing?
Yeah.
Where are you going to land the damn helicopter?
I'm sure that there's some place nearby the location.
Well, you could just do a statement piece and land on top of everything. Fanfare. It's
I don't
always
really
fun.
want to break anything. I just want to. I don't really feel like driving there because driving kind of, even if it's not me that's driving, it gives me a little bit of anxiety. So I'd rather be flying.
I kind of like the way you think. Yeah, maybe we'll get you all a chopper. Land it on the front lawn or something. I don't know.
Oh God.
Yeah,
I'll
that'll
pay
make
for the
us
grass.
badass. Very
Just
cool.
that I said it. It's probably a bad idea anyway. Honestly, Mercury, you don't need to think about that.
No. Looking way bigger than you are, that's an old dog trick. And that's what we're going to do here. In this case,
I'm more
looking
of a
like
cat
you maybe
person,
have a
really.
little... Maybe at least in this case, looking like you have a little more credit than you do is a good idea. Well, anyway, I'll send it around. I am going to drop off this call for just now to get all that ready. And whenever you all are ready to go, you all ready to go. And with that, Mercury turns off the phone. And I am going to do a brief costume change while you all role play for just a minute.
Unless Jericho is talked with, they would probably drop off the call pretty immediately after. But yeah.
So he's this weird with everyone then. Good to know.
Are you the writer?
Yes. I'm all right.
Really? No shit.
Why?
I've read all your books. I'm a big fan.
You're a fan of my books.
Yeah. What, you don't think a wrestler can read?
That wasn't the assumption.
Your books are very interesting.
Yes.
What did
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I apologize.
I wasn't saying anything of any import.
I was just going to ask if the mask makes it difficult to read.
Just hold it
No.
up, right?
Oh. I didn't mean that in any insulting way. I was just curious.
No, sure doesn't.
Right.
Well, I think this will be an interesting helicopter ride.
It's a good thing that most of the time you can't hear each other when you're on the helicopter.
Yeah. All right.
Oh.
Paul, how you turn this thing off? Hit the what?
Oh, hey, Nemesis, there's like a little red button. You scroll down to the bottom of the screen, there's like a little red button down there. Just click that button.
See you soon.
You see it?
There's no red buttons on this thing.
It should say leave.
Yeah, you have to move your mouse. That looks
Yeah.
kind of like this. You gotta move your mouse and you gotta move it down the screen, and then it'll.
Yeah, there's nothing like that here. I'm just gonna get Paul to turn this thing off because I don't do this computer stuff.
Okay, well,
Looking forward to
we'll
meeting
see
you in person.
Yeah, you too.
I guess so. And Ro, you did put out a lovely story recently. It's very nice. Sad, but
Some of them are. Most of them.
I'll go now. Bye. And he's gonna hop off the call.
Well, guess I'll be seeing you again shortly, Lane.
Oh, so I guess you're stuck with me for another one.
You sound
You can't escape me.
so
There's no
disappointed.
trying. You're stuck with me.
I'm starting to get that impression. I'll see you in Chicago.
Sounds good.
And Ro will. And sign off. Oh, that's my hand. Please stop.
And with that, I hope that you have all enjoyed the myth of the not awkward Zoom call, which is definitely still a myth. There's never been a Zoom call that's not been awkward. So,
I'll hang
when
up.
the day,
What?
No, you.
Sorry.
so when the day comes, all of you from wherever the various parts of the world you are from will be taken to a helipad in Chicago where your helicopter is waiting. It is a helicopter. The helicopter itself is, for lack of a better description, it is gaudy beyond belief. The helicopter has, a series of like giant gold wings painted on the side of it. In addition to being like a sort of deep wine purple. And no one, the only person I think that would think this helicopter is normal would be perhaps the Joker. But he is not in our story today. So this gaudy helicopter is waiting for you. It is fired up, and you all can get in it if so you like.
Kind of like holding on to a bag at their side with maybe some like papers or something trying to fly out from the spinning of the blades. Jericho's just kind of like looking around with a little bit of agoraphobia apparent on their face.
And so with that, your chariot awaits. Do you all get in the helicopter?
Yes.
Heck yeah.
So you get in the helicopter, and the helicopter is a little strange on the inside as well. It's got a lot of like velour seating. But you do helicopter things. You have to still put on the headphones so you can hear each other talk. If you actually wanted to hear each other talk, you could. And then very soon the helicopter begins to take off, and it begins to head towards the Gerner Foundation Art History Museum. And as you approach the museum, it looks to be a very classical, kind of large art museum. It seems perhaps a little odd to you all that this new art museum looks like a museum that could have been built in the late 19th century, early 20th century. Very, very classical look with the colonnades and all that. And then on top of the museum, since you all are coming in through a helicopter, you can see that the top of the museum has a series of sort of like domed windows on the top of it. And there are, as befitting a gala, there are a lot of those searchlights that are going around to attract attention, and for all purposes, it seems like a pretty big event. And you can see lots of people queuing up to get into the museum below you as your helicopter descends to the lawn. And of course, as your helicopter descends, it's blowing people's fancy clothes and not fancy clothes all over the place. And you have certainly made an entrance.
Fuck.
So the helicopter is now starting to power down, and you are at the lawn to the museum. And
Lane just
pilot-
looks around at everybody and like looks around at the people who might be onlookers and just nods to Ro and says, "Badass."
Oh,
the pilot, who appears to be a very hairy man who walks with loud footsteps, a little stompy, lets you out of the helicopter. He's like,
even though the helicopter looks like he might have rented it from Prince, I think it made the requisite. And this is nothing on Prince, but I'm just not sure we can live up.
Lane's gonna pull out their phone really quick and just take a couple of pictures of this guy and then go onto their like little blog and just say, "Okay guys, so do we think that this might actually be Bigfoot?" And they'll just like post that and move on.
Were they taking a picture of?
The particularly large and hairy and
the pilot,
heavy-footed pilot.
I will say with that particular action, Ro, you get hit with a weird sense of deja vu. Somehow that action was familiar to you, but you cannot remember why.
Already
It's
blogging.
It's probably nothing.
Already blogging Lane.
Right.
I usually,
Come on,
I mean, I don't usually do this. It's just like, obviously, and they lean in close to Ro and just kind of whisper, "Obviously, this person looks like fucking Bigfoot. Am I wrong?"
You have some points, and I'm sorry I must have mistaken you for someone else. Shall we?
I assure you, miss, I'm not Bigfoot. I have big feet, but I'm not Bigfoot. I don't know how this works. I guess he's kind of shouting over the helicopter. I don't know how this works, but I guess I'll be here when you get back. I've never flown a helicopter before, so I don't know how all this works.
I'm
Y'all
sorry.
have fun.
That's comforting.
Well, we did get here.
Nemesis will give him the bro fist bump.
All right, my man.
Ro, did you slip me something? I could have sworn this guy just said that he's never flown a helicopter before.
Such a joker, right? Let's go.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
As soon as they're off the helicopter, Ro will lean to Lane and be like, "I'm not a Bigfoot. It's exactly what a Bigfoot would say."
I'm asking Highwind about this after the fact.
He does
So-
know some strange people.
So the queue to get into the museum is moving along fairly quickly, and what you notice in the queue is that everyone is is attired in very different ways. Like some people are dressed to the nines, as you would expect. Other people are, there's some people that look like they might be hobos. There are people that are in traditional African dress. There are people that are some of them are scantily clad. There are just all kinds of different bizarre, like if you didn't know you were going to a gala, you might think you're going to a Halloween party. And of course, you all are no exceptions. You all are also dressed in kind of an eclectic. You've got a man in a mask with you, but that doesn't seem to make anyone upset, or nobody looks at you strangely. As the queue continues to proceed, you start to approach some steps. Again, a very classical looking museum with these marbled steps leading up to a marbled colonnade that go to a series of these gigantic bronze doors. Of course, at the bottom of them, because this is a modern museum, have normal doors. But no, they never open bronze doors at museums. They're really just for show, right?
I'd like to open them. Give them a test real quick.
Do you actually do that?
I mean, if do they look like some kind of art piece?
They are very artistic doors, yes. That look like giant bronze doors, yes.
But they're not like marked off or anything?
No.
I definitely think Jericho would go up and just kind of like look at them and try to figure out where like the where its like origins lie and just try to understand it.
Oh, yes, you're being a bit of you're examining the art. How much does Jericho know about bronze?
So bronze as a whole, I'm not sure. I know that they have their academic focuses and their sort of cultural focuses were like art as a whole. So like the broad form of art, the greater details of like smithing and refinement, though, maybe here or there. They are rather smart though, and so they do try to like learn as much as they can. Yeah. So
as
probably
a
know a
point,
little bit.
I mean, like, if you're an artist, there were bronze statues and sculptures and stuff like that. So
I suspect that Jericho may have cast something in bronze at some point, just as an experimental thing. So why don't you put together for me a roll?
Okay.
You can kind of create this how you want.
Jericho would kind of just like, pouring over their encyclopedic brain, looking at the art and just trying to like come together or bring together like an understanding of what this is and if it might represent anything or if it's just that a really intricate door. They would try to use anything from their academic past and their culture understanding of those things. Perhaps like from their artistic virtuoso path.
So I would think in this particular case, this would be based on your finesse stat for this. So it's going to be, whatever your finesse, your mental finesse stat.
Cunning, not that great.
So cunning plus, you could do it with culture, or you could do it with something else if you like.
Sure. I'd add it with culture then. And so is that like one die per dot, right?
Yes, that's correct. So you're going to roll those. Anything above an 8 is a success. A 10 is going to be a success, plus you get to re-roll it.
Oh, wow. No successes, all fails. I had 5 7s, all right below.
Okay. Well, so good news is that the game of Scion has a mechanic called consolation. So even though you fail, I will award the party a point of momentum that you can use later for other things.
Okay.
And okay, so in terms of the role, yeah, really what you get from it is door. It's a door. It's a nice door. That is a
It's very
nice.
pretty, and Jericho appreciates it, and they don't touch it or anything. Not quite sure if it's supposed to be an exhibit or anything, and sort of just leaves that and kind of rejoins behind the party.
Okay. So as the group enter the museum, we come to a very typical looking museum entrance. The difference in here is that it's a very fancy looking museum hallway with marbled floors and these kind of like wood paneling on the walls that like you would expect from a very old museum. They don't really do wood like this anymore. All of that leads up to what appears to be a security station where people are going through a metal detector. And everyone is doing typical metal detector activities, emptying their Pollock pockets, awkwardly coming back through the metal detector when undoubtedly their Texas belt buckle sets it off or whatever. But for the most part, very typical security. Nothing of interest is happening, and soon you all will be up to that security station.
So it just starts removing jewelry.
Okay. Yeah, as you come up a little closer, there are security there in the typical kind of security shirts with they're sort of fancy looking security. They've got like more like those sport coats, but clearly they are still security. They appear to have something that looks like stun guns on their belt, not firearms, but like stun guns. And they're just saying like everyone, any metal objects, please put them in the white bowls and step through the detector, hands at your sides. That usually helps not detect anything. We're getting everyone through as quickly as you can. The event's going to start very soon, so just the more you follow the rules, the more easier this gets through.
Yeah, Jericho will like take off their bag or anything. They probably have like a sort of satchel or something with sketchbook and idea pads and such. A little bit of charcoal, and they just kind of like start emptying out all these little small art supplies that you're like, where are you gonna get the time to do that shit here?
Pulls like from a pocket also like a small notepad and just dumps it all in a thing, and it is like, please be careful with that.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything that like would set the security off?
Yeah, so Lane definitely has like a camera bag with them that has like their actual camera for taking photos of like the artifacts and shit.
Mhm.
And then they have like
An
some
EMF
of their
detector.
typical EMF. They're like their paranormal encrypted investigating equipment in the bag as well.
Mag light.
And they definitely have like some weird sort of like bronze like container device that they probably found at like a thrift shop and they verified was full bronze, just for the sake of like Lane feels like bronze can contain things, so I've just decided this now. So they have just like brought it with them in the event that anything weird happens. They think that bronze will help the situation. So they just like plop their camera bag with all this other shit just like on what I assume is like, actually it's probably not a plastic table if they're like really good people. It's probably like a metal table. So they plop it on the metal table and walk through the metal detector.
Not
And
Okay.
set it off, and then their jewelry, they take the jewelry off and go back. Yeah.
Well, if you set it off, the security kind of looks you up and down and says like, ma'am, if you could just step aside for a second. It's just a formality. I think I think you might have something on your person that's setting it off. And he gets out the wand.
Who are you talking to?
You in the goth.
In the goth. I'm sorry, it's just that you said ma'am. I don't want to be that person, but like, it kind of feels a little, I feel like you're singling me out because of the way that I look.
No, you set off
like
the
a
metal
goth?
detector.
I'm obviously wearing multiple chains. Can I just take them off and then go through again, or do you really have to?
I think we just save time if we do the wand.
Do you think so? Because I'm gonna keep bitching about it until it becomes a bigger problem than it is.
I don't. I just. There's a look
It's okay.
there's a look that crosses his face that actually. Just let me. There's a look that crosses this guy's face that goes from confusion and just for a moment you think you see like hatred, but the gentleman composes himself and just goes back to like security mode. Well, I know everyone is very wealthy and very important, and we're just trying to get folks through here as fast as possible. So I'm just gonna do this one. Just take a second, and he just does it. Like he waves the wand. And he's like, yeah, it looks like it was probably the jewelry. Carry on. Sorry to bother you.
It's cool.
You do notice, because you got close enough, that the security guard has a badge. You suspect it's maybe the badge of the company. And the badge looks like a shield, like a medieval shield. And then what looks like on the shield is like a handprint, but the outline of a handprint, as if someone had just taken like red and outlined a hand.
Does it say his name on there?
Yeah, his name is David.
David. Lane will actually turn around and just say, David, quick question. Just so I can give a proper review to your boss, what's your last name?
We don't use last names here.
So
if you want to talk to my manager, I'm the only David here. But I really am sorry to bother you.
No, it's fine. I wanna
I don't want you or anyone else to miss the party.
Yeah. Never mind, David. Have a good night.
Thank you. You have a wonderful evening.
Oh God, I think I'm gonna throw up. That's way too much tension. Hi, all my medals right there. I'll be on my way. I'll kind of try to push through as fast as I can.
And does you get through no problems?
Yeah.
Does Nemesis have anything
is in there
that would alert security?
Keys. Just keys.
Just keys.
He didn't carry a phone or anything, so.
Okay, so yeah, you get through.
He didn't bring the belt.
Under normal circumstances, it would be unusual for someone who looks like a giant luchador to get through security without anybody going, "What's the mask for?" But that poses no issue to them. Maybe you are.
Real smart.
As a quick side note, Lane, once they get through and they see Ro, they're just like, I definitely think that I came across as a really shitty person to them, but I was just trying to get more information, and I think that it backfired, and they probably think that I'm a Karen now.
I've known Karens. You're not a Karen.
I just wanted to know the guy's name because, sometimes you can, find information, but
I see.
There's power in names. They're being smart about this.
they are.
There's plenty of power in names. I bet his first name isn't even David.
Probably not. I bet all of the men here are named David on their little name tags.
And none of them really live up to the art piece anyway.
They're
So
not
strange.
naked at all, so yeah.
That's not what I meant.
You sure?
Come on.
It's been very unfortunate lately that customer service people don't even think to give you their real name.
Yeah, it's like they're worried that people are gonna try and track them down and find out where they live or something. It's ridiculous.
I'm sure that would never happen.
No, definitely not.
No
The
danger
crowd-
to sharing your real name.
The crowd is proceeding along. They're obviously it's thinned out a little bit because everyone's going through security, but you continue to proceed down, following some signs towards the exhibit hall. You go past typical museum stuff. There are some in the museum exhibit hall. There are some things that look like pretty classic Renaissance and later Renaissance paintings, and there's some statues, but it's not out of the ordinary for a museum or an art museum. It's cool stuff, but it doesn't really attract your attention more than you all know art, so it's not something that really picks up your attention. But you're led to the main exhibit hall where everyone is gathering, and it appears they have a large curtain that can be drawn either way that is set up in front of where the exhibit is probably behind. And there is a gentleman in a black shirt and a navy sport coat, and he is by a podium, and he's looking like as if he is going to get ready to speak. Off to the sides of the podium, there is a refreshments table set up with things like glasses of champagne, cucumber water, all the different kinds of things that you would expect to be at a museum gala for rich people. And
I'm gonna go get a glass of champagne. Does anyone want any? Or cucumber water?
I'm definitely gonna grab some cucumber water, and definitely if there is sushi, I'm grabbing it, and I'm taking a lot.
okay, do you take a lot of sushi?
I take a lot of sushi.
Okay, and so do you have some of the champagne, Ro?
Yes. Without a second thought, I'm afraid.
Jericho will find maybe some hot beverage station or whatever and get tea or something.
Earl Grey.
Earl Grey, hot.
I just imagine him looking for the fucking finger sandwiches or something like that.
He hates this. He hates this a lot.
Does Nemesis take anything, or
No, this is all finger food and tea party crap. I'll wait till we're done and get a real drink.
okay?
I
Ro,
like the way you think. Sorry.
I was gonna say, so Ro, if you drink the champagne, it is the cheapest champagne you have ever drank in your life. It's not good. Looks like it came out of an expensive bottle, but it's not. It's It's not good.
Lane, I know, not necessarily, don't want to ruin the sushi experience, but you know champagne, right?
Yeah, more or less.
Try this.
Yep.
I
Gross.
feel like I definitely I probably stole an exact bottle of that from a grocery store at some point when I was a teenager. That's no.
It
Do you,
tastes
That's
like
like
it
that's
shouldn't.
$5 you can slip it into your backpack type shit.
Yeah, it tastes like you shouldn't be allowed legally to call it champagne.
No, that's
Tastes a
definitely
very
not from
bad
the region.
prosecco.
do you partake of the sushi, Lane?
Lane's gonna inspect the sushi thoroughly. I feel like because sushi is their favorite food, they've been able to identify what looks like it's actually good fish versus very low quality, probably not safe to eat fish.
Okay. Yeah. So if you look at the sushi without tasting, you probably pick up this from the smell. This is definitely crab with a K, and
Oh,
perhaps salmon with a K and tuna with a K too.
yeah, Lane
Like,
has like an entire array of this sushi, and they're like investigating it, and they just set it back down on the table.
what
This
did Jerry?
is this is really bad,
Is
bro.
not something's off about it.
This is
It's
gross.
edible, much like the champagne is potable. It's just not. It's cheap.
Couldn't
What
spring for Clicquot if not Don Perignon. Like, come on. This is supposed to be something sort of fancy.
what? And then Jericho, I believe you remind me you picked up like a hot beverage.
Yeah, like some tea or whatever, something that looks hot, coffee, anything like that.
Okay, let's say a hot tea. Um, yeah, this is like the tea is like grocery store tea at best.
Delicious.
Oh, is it like Lipton?
Yeah, they'll like kind of take a sip and like they're starting to look around. They have the tea in their hands and it's finally cooled down enough and they kind of like sip in and then immediately it just dribbles out of their mouth back into the cup and they just kind of set it down and wander away really awkwardly.
So yeah,
Bro
and
notably does not set the champagne.
Wow, this tastes like dog shit.
Just keeps like sipping at it as if, like
no,
the true sign of insanity is to do something multiple times expecting a different result.
Lane's just gonna reach out their hand and like gently put their hand on Rose that's holding the champagne glass and like push it down towards the table. Just say, it's not good. And it's probably really not good. Don't.
Everything kind of tastes like
I am absolutely positive that you have a flask with you because I think that I know you well enough at this point. Drink from your flask. Do not drink whatever this is.
The real question is, yeah, Ro probably has different flasks, and there are ones that are leather instead of metal. I would not have set off the metal detector. Yep. Ro's like, just like rustles around in the kind of cloak, not cloak, but like long duster that they're wearing, and just kind of pulls one out. This is better. You're right. Wonder if there's anywhere to check my coat. Now that I'm not hiding a flask in it.
I wouldn't do that, actually. I don't know about this.
Stuff on you.
And yeah, Lane will like try and if everybody's kind of stuck nearby-ish, Lane will kind of like beckon. And they'll just say, there's definitely something very weird happening right here, and I don't think that it's in a good way.
Is that why you're trying to get more information from the security guard?
Yeah. It already felt weird, and then the fish is like, it's definitely not actually fish, and the champagne is garbage. And I saw Jericho's reaction when they drank the tea earlier. This is obviously, this isn't good. And especially because this is supposed to be the place to be, is what Highwind said. So why the fuck would this be what is being served right now, you know?
And there's a lot of strange people here. I mean, I do think I recognize some people as famous or notable, definitely, but
Yeah.
Jericho has
This
also
doesn't
wandered off to go look at art, by the way. They're not part of this conversation. They're trying to see what's here and not talk to anyone.
Yeah, there is some art out here that you can look at. You can't go into the actual exhibit yet, and
Oh, okay, cool.
with that, your conversations are interrupted with that classic awkward type tap on a mic to indicate that someone is going to speak, and most of the attention then goes to the speaker, who again is that gentleman with the black shirt and the navy blazer, looking very professorial in some ways, professor at a museum opening, and he begins to address the assembled crowd. Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Carl Speckham, and I would like to welcome you all to Mythology and Modern Storytelling, How Our Myths Created the World. Of course, I would be remiss not to thank our many sponsors tonight. Global Link Internet Software and Business Solutions. Of course, the Charitable Trust Fund of Mrs. Mary Weather. And of course, the Gurno Foundation itself, which has provided most of the funding for this exhibit. Please, of course, enjoy refreshments. The refreshments table will continue to be open for the rest of the evening, but I do not want to hesitate too much, and I want to give everyone time to look at this exclusive look at this exhibit we've collected. We have a wide variety of antiquities and artifacts from around the world, and I think when we created this, we really wanted everyone to understand how these wonderful myths have influenced our modern world and how these myths have, in many ways, created our world. So, please, without further ado, experience the divine. And there is a round of applause, and the curtains open to the exhibit.
I think they forgot to mention their food sponsor was Asda. At least
I think their
Walmart.
food sponsor was whoever that makes those little like food replicas for display cases.
So at this point, the exhibit is open, and it's a large rotunda, very ornate in some ways. Again, this area of the building is marble with sort of gold inlays. The exhibits are set out in sort of a wide circular pattern, so that you would circle from one end of the rotunda to the other, with just a very wide open space in the middle for quiet reflection. There's some benches you can sit down on in there, and people start to funnel into the exhibit. Security looks like they're already in the exhibit, kind of wandering around, looking at various things. People.
The gentleman who was speaking, I forgot his name. Was there like any sort of weird vibe that they were giving off?
He seemed a little awkward.
Okay.
Actually,
Vibe
on
with
that
that.
note, I don't know if this is something that I have to like specifically ask to do or
Mhm.
what. And if I do have to ask to do it, that's fine. But I do have I have sent the divine, which is the like, I have an innate sense of anything divine near me.
Is it, remind me, is that a knack or is it
It's a knack.
a knack? Does it require a momentum spend or just?
No. It's just having a touch of divinity. You have an innate sense of anything divine near you. With a sniff or a knowing listen, you may detect another scion or god, legendary creature, etc. of a particular pantheon.
Okay.
It's one of those
So,
like NE features where
oh yeah. I get you. So maybe once you get the disgusting sushi out of the way, you take kind of a deep breath and you're hearing more, and you'd be overwhelmed with divinity right now. Um, almost everyone around you seems to be divine in some way, to the point where it's really hard to tell who's who. It's hard to divine. It could be everyone. It could be a large group of very divine individuals. Sort of thinking about how that happens for you, not knowing necessarily you're divine, it kind of comes across as a very
yeah, Lane starts like noticing
weirdo
this,
sense.
and they kind of start having like a little bit of a panic attack because they're like noticing all of this like overwhelming like burst of almost radiance of like all of this divinity, and they're just like, what the fuck, what the fuck is going on? And so they're kind of like freaking out. They're just like staring wide-eyed, probably next to Ro, just like completely freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
Hey, what's with you?
I'm sorry. There's I'm not sure what's going on. I'm getting okay. I know some people don't believe, but I am getting a serious, intense, powerful vibe coming from this entire area. Like, I know some people think that the stuff that I do is bogus. I'm not joking. This is 100% real. I am telling you for a fact that there's some weird shit here.
Power
Something's
of
happening.
appropriation. It's this curator and all of their
No.
making art and calling it their own, but they haven't done anything.
Nope. It's not the art, it's the people. There's something. These people are everything in here is like steeped in a crazy amount of like power. It's like a bunch of lamps walking around. It's a lot.
Yeah,
And it's everybody. It's like everywhere.
I knew he was gonna get us for this something.
Nemesis, are you looking for anything in particular?
I'm looking for anyone that might look familiar.
No one looks familiar to you. You don't really know any of these people. There might be some people you think you may have seen in a like familiar, no, like not know them, but you may see some people that you may have seen in the context of like arena matches or something, but you don't know them personally.
What kind of art is this?
In the exhibit?
Yeah.
The exhibit is set up in sort of a very modern museum way where it's like they have a particular like antiquity or artifact that represents some kind of a myth or and some kind of an old story. And then next to it is a panel that explains a little bit about what it is and then how that item has been used in modern storytelling or like a movie or something like that.
So it's like a history exhibit through the lens of myth and arcane